Sussan Ley has led an eclectic life. She's been a shearer's cook, she's been a pilot, she's been a punk rocker at one point. Across her more than 20 years in Parliament, she has picked up a very eclectic set of advisors, confidants, and associates who are helping her try to make a success of being the first female leader of the opposition and rebuild a Liberal Party that has been devastated by its loss at the May election. So who are the people in the Sussan Ley power network? She obviously has her top parliamentary team. She's got her deputy, Ted O'Brien. She's got people like her numbers man, Alex Hawke, the opposition health spokeswoman, Anne Ruston. But one thing she's tried to do is bring the Conservatives who did not support her into the tent. So she has added her two biggest rivals, Angus Taylor and Dan Tehan, into the Liberal Party leadership group. She's grown a lot closer to Conservatives like opposition Senate leader Michaelia Cash, the now opposition finance spokesman James Pattison, who are advising her on strategy. Conservatives, when she beat Angus Taylor in the leadership ballot after the election, when Peter Dutton was ousted from Parliament, were very, very negative. They felt like she just won the ballot, they should have won, they were very angry. But Conservatives are now telling the Australian that she will not be facing a leadership change anytime soon. You know, she's bringing them to the tent. They feel very comfortable about where she's going and how they're including her. Of course, she has wider political confidence outside of Parliament. She's talking, obviously, to people like John Howard. She's still in contact with former Prime Ministers like Scott Morrison, Tony Abbott. But she's leaning into other political confidants that she's known for years, like Julie Bishop, the former Foreign Minister. At one point, they were the only two women in Tony Abbott's cabinet. She speaks to people like Gladys Berejiklian, the ex-New South Wales Premier. In the wider business world, she is very close to people like Leah Wecker, the Coles boss, Meg O'Neill, the chief of Woodside, Vanessa Hudson, the head of Qantas. And outside of business, she has people you wouldn't even think she'd be close to. Dick Smith, the iconic entrepreneur, Alex Rivkin, the co-chief of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry. But most interestingly, she's very close with Geoffrey Blainey, who is Australia's greatest living historian. They met a decade ago through Sussan Ley's parish priest in Albury in southern New South Wales. And Geoffrey Blainey, a man who knows something about the history of Australia, has been raving about Sussan Ley apparently for a decade. It's just part of the eclectic, extraordinary mix of people that are in the Sussan Ley Power Network, helping her with what may be the toughest job in Australian politics, trying to rebuild the Liberal Party almost from scratch after the devastating landslide against them